Yeah, I hate to say it, but I do think you're gonna have to find someone else to host that charity gala. I knew you'd understand. Thanks, Barack. There's never enough time these days. One minute you're reading Tolstoy, the next you're giving your friend Keanu a ride to the airport, and then all of a sudden you're late to that wine tasting class you teach every Thursday at the Met. Things are getting crazy. So while I appreciate getting my $60 worth with AAA video games, it stresses me out just thinking about replaying any of this year's releases. Games as service require daily commitments before you reach their endgame. Titles like Sekiro demand weeks of laser focus to master. That's not to mention RPGs, those holiest of games that can require dozens of hours just to finish their main quest lines. Sure, I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses, and yeah, if I had an extra day each week, I might start a second playthrough. Maybe then I could stoop to the level of the Black Eagles over the other, better houses. But I don't have 8 days, and the Black Eagles are all jerks. That's why I appreciate The Outer Worlds. It's the mini RPG I didn't know I needed. It understands that quantity does not equal quality. It knows that value is not always a matter of length. In a year of stealth hits and creative releases, The Outer Worlds, despite being an RPG, is the single game I restarted immediately after beating it. Clocking in at around 25 hours, The Outer Worlds is pretty brief, for its genre at least. And while naysayers may consider this a fault, I think it's actually one of the game's greatest strengths. It trims the fat, removing needless grinding and boring miscellaneous quests. It ensures that no storyline overstays its welcome. It also brings more vitality to its characters than most 80-hour RPGs could ever manage. Like Parvati, for example. Everyone who has played The Outer Worlds now has a photo of Parvati taped to the ceiling above their bed. Literally everyone, and not just me. Do you think that's a coincidence? No, it's a testament to the depth of character this sci-fi world allows. Whether it's Parvati's romance side quest, or the relationship challenges she faces as an asexual person, or the way she plays good cop to your bad cop in the middle of conversations, all of it holds weight. Because in an RPG that knows when to end, I'm content to linger on every narrative thread. Of course, The Outer Worlds isn't good just because it's not 60 hours long. Some of my favorite games take dozens of hours to finish. Persona 5 clocked in at around 90 in 2017, and it's one of my favorite titles of this console generation. What makes The Outer Worlds good to me is that it respects players' time investments. It showcases an efficiency of design that you don't often see. In other words, I can't really label one questline or one character as unnecessary. Trust me, I tried. Take Ellie, for example. The hardened smuggler is essential because she balances out Parvati's naivete. Her companion quest is crucial because it explains her roguishness. The city that questline takes place in is critical because it showcases a side of the late capitalist dystopia that we haven't seen much of up until that point. It shows the people who are benefiting from the Halcyon colony's brutal class differences. And speaking of Halcyon, The Outer Worlds' overarching structure also demonstrates this density of content. Rather than taking the Fallout route of massive sandbox exploration, The Outer Worlds relies on discrete locations which you can take your time poring over. Surprisingly, this actually manages to impart a sense of scale that I don't always get from an Elder Scrolls or a Far Cry. I hate myself for saying this because it's really cliche, but The Outer Worlds feels lived in. The story had built, climaxed, and said farewell, but I wanted to experience all of it again. That expert concoction of moral dilemmas, pitch-perfect pacing, and Parvati pulled me back in as soon as the credits rolled. I'm now halfway through my second adventure, avoiding the speech skills of my first character for one more focused on just brute strength. I'm trying new weapons and ability perks, sure, but I'm also enjoying the role-playing of the thing, knowing that each and every hour of this succinct epic will yield exciting scenarios. I'm exhausting every well-written dialogue option. I'm pressing my companion's emotional buttons. I'm poking at this world, so to speak, attempting to find the cracks, but so far, I haven't found many. The Outer Worlds isn't memorable because it's not ridiculously long. It's memorable because, well, it doesn't waste any of its time. More importantly, it doesn't waste any of mine. And that's no easy feat. More RPGs should pay attention going forward, and more RPGs should have Parvati.